Satepabet, this is Ra, Satep and Ra, Ramessu MeriAmun. And today's video is about symbols. First of all, before we get into the video, I need everybody to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video so that we can get this knowledge spread around so that every one of our people can benefit from it. Now, to get into today's video, I want to start off by saying this. Symbols hold extraordinary power. Symbols are very, 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 very powerful. And they don't teach this science to the masses. They don't teach all of you how important symbols are. Symbols connect to your spirit. Symbols are more powerful than words. I won't say they're more powerful than words, but I would say they're almost on an equal level. But that's how they're able to control a lot of the masses. They control a lot of the masses through symbols. Symbols give you a sense of knowing. Symbols, they invoke something within the depths of your soul when you see them. And it's certain symbols. Now, there's a particular symbol in ancient Kemet. It's called the winged sun disk of Ra. The winged sun disk of Ra. Now, the winged sun disk of Ra has been stolen many of times by many different products or companies. Or they use the symbol and they attach it to their products. And some examples of this are Bentley, the car manufacturer known as Bentley, which makes Bentley automobiles. They use the winged sun disk of Ra as one of their symbols as well. It's just an altered form. It has the Bentley B encased in a circle with wings. The Bentley B, the letter B, which stands for Bentley, is encased in a circle or surrounded by a circle and has wings attached to the circle. And you wonder why Bentley has so much power. You wonder why there's a lot of black people that know what a Bentley is, but never own one. You see, through the symbols which connect to your soul and your subconscious memory, that is how they're able to sell their product or sell you their product or promote their product in such a way. Whereas you can know about a car that you've never owned before. This is the same thing with many other companies. Another example is the company Wingstop, which has the circle with the two wings on each side, a wing on each side. So the logo for Wingstop is also the winged sun disk of Ra. And people really love chicken. They love to eat at Wingstop, especially down in Florida. You know, they really, really like to eat Wingstop. And it's the symbols. The symbols hold the power. See, the winged sun disk of Ra is a symbol of God, the power of God. So what these people are doing, they're taking the power of God and they are harnessing it through the symbol to control people. That's exactly what they're doing. So being that these symbols are the power of God, they've harnessed the power and they use it to control you. Because remember now, the winged sun disk of Ra has always been a known symbol of the power of the Great Spirit and the power of God that manifests in all things, in all of creation. So for these companies to harness the power of God and use it not to lead you to God, but to lead you to their product, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. Because back in ancient Kemet, they used these symbols to lead you to God. But today, they're using the symbols to capitalize off of other people, and then they're not even selling you healthy food. Again, example, Wingstop. Using the symbols of God, but not nourishing the people the correct way. You see, so it's a deceitful tactic because we're drawn to the symbols of God, and that's how they're able to control if we buy something or if we don't buy something, because the spiritual connection and the power that's held in the symbol. Another example is the church. The church will have a cross, which symbolizes the sun in a way. The cross is longitude and latitude, but it also symbolizes the sun. That's why sometimes you'll see pictures of the sun with the cross in front of it. Well, some churches have adopted the symbol where you will see the cross with wings. Okay, that's another altered version of the winged sun disk of Ra. And there's countless others. You got Genesis, the car company, Hyundai, which manufactures Genesis. They have the winged sun disk of Ra. Chrysler has the winged sun disk of Ra. I mean, it's countless companies and organizations that use the winged sun disk of Ra in their logos. The Air Force and all this stuff, all these companies that are using this logo, they're drawing power. Because you got to remember, reincarnation is a real thing. So just say you was a soul that lived in the ancient Kemetic times. And in that time, you would go to the temples to give honor to God, and you would see the winged sun disk of Ra over the door of a temple entrance. That was recorded in your subconscious. Then you pass away, you go through the duat, you reincarnate, and now you come back to this time and you see the Bentley symbol. Something in your subconscious will activate that feeling that you had back in ancient Egypt in a previous life when you saw the winged sun disk of Ra over the temple door. But see, now in this new life, it's taking a different form. Now it's taking the form of automobile symbols. And this drives people to want to buy these things subconsciously, from a spiritual level, from a deep mental level. It puts it in your heart to want these things or desire these things, because they're using the power associated with God through the symbol. And that's how they continually control the masses of people. Another example, Air Jordan. If you look at the first Air Jordan logo, or one of the oldest Air Jordan logos, it had Jordan, the iconic symbol that everyone knows of Jordan, where he's in the air. But they had the basketball. They had Jordan encased in the basketball, the Jumpman symbol encased in a basketball with wings. Okay? With wings. And now Air Jordan is one of the biggest selling shoes today. And very expensive. And people will give their last to buy a pair of Jordans. Not saying that, it's not a nice shoe and it doesn't look good. It does. It's a nice shoe. But you shouldn't dwell on it. You should not love anything of material existence so hard. Because when you practice spirituality and you grow, you learn to become detached from these things so that you can transcend time and space. But when you have an attachment to worldly things, it hinders you. It hinders you spiritually. So it's nothing wrong with having nice things, but you have to understand and overstand that these nice things are just temporary, and you shouldn't give your all to them. You should give your all to the Great Spirit so that you can escape reincarnation and transcend time and space. So symbols are very powerful. That's why the ancient Kemetnu, or the ancient Egyptians, used symbols in what the Greeks call hieroglyphs, but we call it the Mediuneter. And those symbols are powerful symbols that tell you the story of the Great Spirit, God. And they use these symbols to communicate with you and to touch the depths of your soul, if you know what the symbols mean. You see? And even if you really don't know what the symbols mean, you subconsciously know what the symbols mean. If you don't know consciously, you subconsciously know, because maybe through another lifetime, you've already seen these symbols in different forms. You see? So even if you don't have any awareness in this lifetime of the symbol's power, you subconsciously are aware, whether you know it or not. So the symbols still work. That's why everyone wants a pair of Jordans. That's why everybody wants to own a Bentley, or everybody wants to own all these different types of cars with these different symbols that have their roots back in ancient Egypt. You see, it's a hijacked power. They've hijacked the power of ancient Kemet for all their tasks that they want to complete. They built the temple of Satan. They stole the power of Egypt to build that. They stole the power of Egypt to build Islam. They stole the power of Egypt to build Christianity. They stole the power of Egypt to build society. That's how you have society today. Because if you do deep research into the ancient Egyptian culture or the ancient Kemetic culture, you would see they already had apartments, they had furniture, they had homes, they own homes, they had all the things you see going on in society today. Egypt had that. It had that. So that's what you got to understand. Kemet is the giver of civilization. So everything you see, the majority of everything you see today is not new under the sun. It's not new. It's not a new thing. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? If you've had a thought, someone out there has had a similar thought. Someone that lived a long time ago had a similar thought. And in the future, people will have similar thoughts. So it's a never-ending cycle. You see, Kemet gave the world civilization. Kemet gave the world symbols. Now let's read. We're going to read a little bit about symbols. What is a symbol? A symbol is something that represents a knowing, an ideology, an idea, a meaning, a relationship, a faith. A symbol is felt via the heart, not our thinking brain. It is not something that we need to intellectualize over. Anything dealing with intellect and in the heart is the mind. The mind, the heart, the intellect, all that, all those things are the same thing. It can simply invoke a feeling, a meaning, a truth within us. Looking at a symbol can give us a feeling of safety, comfort, sanctuary, faith, knowing, and hope. It may be a religious symbol, the cross, the Jewish star, the hand of Fatima, etc. Or it may be something more personal, a flower, a bird, a tree, a heart. Symbols have been around for centuries and transcend language and time. You hear that? They allow people to go beyond what is known or seen by creating linkages between otherwise very different concepts and experiences. There are means of complex communication that often can have multiple levels of meaning and serve as vehicles of understanding and connection between people. For example, the swallow has been a symbol of hope. In Aesop's fable and numerous other historic literature, it can symbolize hope because it is among the first birds to appear at the end of winter and the start of spring. Other symbols of hope include the anchor and the dove. Throughout working with symbols, we can have access to the energy and meaning that comes from the inner world. Symbols can communicate more directly than words. Often symbols have a strong religious or spiritual quality that conveys their sacred energy. See what I was saying? It's an energy that comes from these certain symbols. Bentley, Chrysler, they got the sun disk of Ra as their symbol, stolen from Egypt. And these symbols contain certain energy. You see? That's associated with their original form. See? An energy which gives real meaning and nourishment to our surface lives. Visualizing a symbol enables us to feel the collective vibrational energy of what gives us well-being in our lives without having to list each and every actual specific thing. Symbols are a powerful influence on our psychological and spiritual life. This is true. This is a fact. Within our inner world, a symbol can present potential or a calling meant only for you, for your understanding. Humanity has always used symbols to express its awareness of the divine, the creative force. All this is true, you see? Like again, back to the symbol of the sun disk. And there's many other symbols from ancient Kemet that they've stolen. But let's look at the symbol of the sun disk. All these companies stole it. And all these companies are successful. They're successful at selling their products. They're successful in the growth of their companies. All because their symbols have an energy, an ancient energy associated with it that goes back to the Great Spirit or the Divine One. You see? So the people that run the world, they know how powerful symbols are. Our ancestors knew how powerful symbols were. That's why you see the symbols all over ancient Kemet. When you go to ancient Kemet, symbols are everywhere. And all those symbols have a meaning. The Romans, the Greeks, they have hijacked all the symbols of power and gave them back to the world today. And a lot of people think these symbols are something new that someone came up with, but they're not. These are not symbols that are new. These are old symbols. A lot of these symbols that you see around society are ancient symbols. They're ancient symbols that have been used somewhere in the timeline of human existence. You see? So that's why everyone is so connected to these symbols, especially us African people. We are very connected to a lot of these symbols. That's why we are very big consumers. And you have to become aware of this in this lifetime so that you can protect yourself, because the symbols are very powerful. Remember, they're symbols of God. So you can use the power of God to commit evil. The knowledge of God. You can use the knowledge of God to commit evil. You can do that. And people do that today. People do it. Some people alter the knowledge. People do it. You see? So symbols, very important. Very important aspect of society. Very important aspect of existence in the physical world. The symbols. Now, if you know how to properly use the symbols can lead you to God. If you know the original reason for the symbol's existence, then it can bring you back to where you need to be, connecting with the Great Spirit. The winged sun disk of Ra was used to help the people to connect with Ra, aka God, so that they can transcend time and space and escape reincarnation. Don't you understand? Our ancestors' goal was to escape reincarnation, and that should be your goal. No one talks about this. No one talks about escaping embodiment. And I spoke about that in my video entitled Reincarnation and How to Escape. You should check that video out. That video has some pretty good information in it about how to escape reincarnation and what our ancestors were trying to teach us. And the only way to escape is to understand and be aware of what's going on around you and what's going on in this existence. Okay, you have to be aware. The symbols are a tool that can guide you to God. But if you get caught up in what these people are using them for, they will keep you attached to worldly things. You think that the people that run this world, they don't know that reincarnation is real? They know. They know. And they want to remain here and they want to control the physical realm. That's what they want to do. That's why they teach us lies. And they cover up the truth. They don't want you to become one with God. Because they don't want to become one with God. They don't want to escape reincarnation. They want to stay involved in the world. They want to run the world. They want to overstep God, the people that run this world. That's why they don't teach you about anything dealing with the Great Spirit. They don't teach you anything. All they do is pump violence into you. That's all they do. And everybody's a little guilty of all of that, but we all have to learn and do better. We all have to. So that we can escape reincarnation and we don't have to be stuck in this worldly embodiment over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So understand the symbols, read, Study the ancient books, study the ancient writings, and not the wrong ones. Be careful, because there's been so much plagiarism and altering that it's a lot of the information out here is mixed with truth and lies. So you have to be careful. It's really complicated to be on a spiritual path if you don't have the correct teacher, because the spiritual path can lead you astray. You can go down the wrong path. It's very easy when you're on a spiritual journey to go down the wrong path, because there's so many different paths and different ideologies. And some people are very manipulative and switching turning the truth around and making the truth seem, turning the truth around and making it a lie, but making a lie seem like the truth. You see? They have took the truth, scrambled it around, and turned it into a lie and gave it back to you. And now everyone in the world is confused. They don't know which way to go, what to do. They just don't know, because there's so much information out there, true information and misleading information. And it's all mixed up into one big bundle called the internet. And not just the internet, but some of these books. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to know your authors. You have to know what they believe or what they know. And that's how you choose what information to go by. You have to be very careful. It's a lot of misinformation out here. Just like they could use the symbols of God to mislead people, you can do the same thing with any information. So, everybody stay safe. Ask the ancestors to guide you and keep you on the right path. Keep learning. Keep growing. And keep that third eye open. Keep that spiritual eye open. Keep it open so that you can see. So that you can see. It's all about being righteous and escaping reincarnation. If you're not righteous, you're not going to escape reincarnation. You're not. So I don't want to get too off subject, but like I said, be safe out there. Everyone have a glorious, glorious day. This is BornOfRa, Ramessu MeriAmun, getting ready to sign off. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and learn those symbols, and don't let those symbols control you. Don't let the symbols control you. Know the meaning of them. Know the original origin of the symbol, and know what the original meaning of the symbol was, so that these symbols cannot control you. Don't let them control you. Don't let them use the power of God that is supposed to be there to help you get to God. Don't let them use it to lead you away from God, because that can happen. All information belongs to God. All information. Okay? And it can be altered, it can be adjusted, it can be changed. So you have to be very careful in the physical world, because there's a lot of schemes and tricks around here. Heads up.